Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So once again we have my DIY custom loop right here with my own block that I made, along with just some other parts that I made as well. So I actually just wanted to show you guys that this thing actually works, and it's running right now. I currently have it open. I'm remoting into it. I'm using the Windows remote desktop just so that I don't need another mouse and keyboard and screen. So right here is the data cable right here, which you may not see, and then obviously power, so that's all you need. So I'm accessing this computer through the network. It's actually very simple, and it's actually been working quite good for me. I'm using it on my servers as well, but yeah, that's a story for another day. In the previous video we compared basically the stock cooler against the water block. Well, today I want to take this block off. I actually want to see how the contact is between the water block and the actual CPU, and then I want to test it against this. Now this is a aftermarket CPU cooler, and yeah, basically a single tower cooler, and I want to put that this cooler in here, and then I want to see how that compares against the stock cooler and the water cooler. So I think without any further ado, let me take this out and put this heatsink in. Alright, I've just partially drained the loop right now, and I've unfastened the CPU block, so let me take it off and see how the contact is. So it's a bit of a tight fit. Alright, now I don't know how good this is going to show on camera, but well, the mount isn't that bad, but you can clearly see on here, well, maybe not on camera, but around the right side the contact was good, but on the left side no, this doesn't look that good. So I think if I use another technique where I use springs so that the pressure is even on all four corners, I think I could actually improve this block more, but I'll do that in another video because I first want to test this as well, just to get that benchmark in there as well. Right, so let me clean this up and install that heatsink, and then I'll be back with the testing. Okay, I've just finished running the test on the aftermarket heatsink, and I am quite surprised. So this is basically the water block. You haven't seen this yet, and this is literally, it is exactly as I said in the previous video. It was like a stock Intel cooler, one of the thicker ones as you can see here, and I drilled in two holes, and they linked up in the middle, and I glued in these two. Basically, this is just like a garden fitting with these two hoses, and this is literally my water block. There's no fancy fins or nothing in here. It's literally just this thing with two holes drilled in it. So let's quickly look at the temperatures. So as you can see right here, the stock cooler idled at about 34 degrees Celsius, while my water block, which is the DIY one, idled at about 26 degrees Celsius, and the aftermarket cooler idled at 30 degrees Celsius. So alright, you can see there the DIY water block beats all of them like right out the gate. But that isn't that important, so let's look at underload. So my testing worked exactly the same as in the previous video. I did a single Cinebench run, and I recorded the max temperature, and then I did a 20-minute loop in Cinebench R20, and then I recorded that temperature. So with the stock cooler in just a single run, it reached 75 degrees Celsius, which is quite hot, but it's still within safe limits. My DIY water block reached 61, and the aftermarket cooler reached just 60. So right there you can see my DIY water block is basically on par with the aftermarket cooler. Then for the 20-minute loop, the stock cooler reached a maximum of 76 degrees Celsius, while my DIY water block reached 64, and the aftermarket cooler reached 61. So what that means is that the temperature difference between this DIY block and the aftermarket cooler is just 3 degrees. But with that, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the contact between the block and the CPU wasn't that great. So basically on the one side it was like perfect, but on the other side, yeah, it wasn't that great. So if I can improve the mount, that could definitely bring the temperature down with 1 or 2, maybe 3 degrees. If I do some other stuff, like I can still put the pump faster, like the pump was running at like 50% speed, so I could ramp up the pump speed, and that could also influence the max temperature. So I'm really excited about this. Like, this thing actually works, and it's not bad. It's half decent. So for the next video, I want to try and improve the contact between this water block and the CPU. And there's another thing I want to test. I want to use delta fans. Now, the delta fans are basically what they use in servers. So they run at like some crazy amperage and some crazy wattage, and the torque in them are like really, I'll show you in the next video what I'm talking about. So I'm really excited about that. And they just pump, or yeah, they just push through a lot of air. So I'll maybe fit on one on this heatsink and see how that one performs. And then I'll definitely put it on the water block and on the radiator of the water block, and then put that loop back in and then see how that compares. But for now, this is all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe and comment. Go check out my other videos. I'm also on Instagram and on Twitter, and I have merch. There is the link down in the description if you want to go check out that. And yeah, until next time guys, bye bye.